Hello, my name is Hannah Blanchette. I graduated from St. Francis in 2006. One of the great things about being a student at St. Francis was the diversity of the student community. Before high school, I was used to being one of a very few Black people in the school community, even in my family. That's another story. Anywho, when I got to Francis, there was a large community, and I was able to explore different aspects of what it meant to be Black. And I finally felt as though I belonged somewhere. And I met my best friend there, and it was a good scene. It was good. Unfortunately, same can't be said for my post-secondary experience. I went to the University of Lethbridge on a basketball scholarship, and the community I had found in high school vanished. While playing on the basketball team, I was the only Black person on either team, men's or women's. Played on the women's, only one. And every time I went out into the city, grocery shopping, whatever, I felt as though I was an object of fascination. I felt as though I was being judged on my every action, and all the stank face looks I got, it did not help anything. And then in my third year, I finally got some Black up. The men's basketball coach managed to recruit some players from Toronto, and at last I had a group of people who I could kind of bond with and retreat to in my off days and just kind of chill, I guess, for lack of a better term. And then I graduated, that was that. Currently, I'm a teacher with the district. I taught at Francis briefly, and I now teach at Holy Cross School. My favorite thing, what I enjoy most, is I'm able to be a positive role model to students of color, to people who might feel oppressed, repressed, afraid to be themselves. I just hope that I can show them that don't be afraid to be who you are. I guess the main thing I notice are the constant microaggressions. People asking to touch my hair, people asking if this is my real hair. Yes, it is. And people saying, "You don't sound Black. Where did you grow up?" And they're surprised, aghast, when I tell them, "Yeah, no, I'm Black, born and raised Calgary. I have 2 university degrees." "What? You? Educated?" "Yes, I am, thank you." And also the other thing is people with all the BLM things that are going on, people are just like, "Oh, there's no racism here. Nothing's happening here." I'm like, okay, just because you don't experience it doesn't mean it's not happening. So maybe you should reach out and ask what is happening. Don't just say it doesn't exist. And nowadays, when I'm in public, or walking my dog, whatever, it's nice to people say hi, they're not intimidated by my presence, etc. It's funny, back in the height of all the protests, it felt like people like going out of their way to be nice to me and say hi to me, almost like to prove to themselves that they aren't racist. Like, "Oh, I said hi to a Black person today. I'm not racist. Look at me tolerating." Like, so I don't know. It could have just be me, my perspective, but that's just what it felt like. So when it peaked with the violent protests, I experienced common rhetoric from people who really it didn't affect because, they weren't a person of color. And they said that if people of color want to be heard and respected, they're going about it the wrong way. To which my response is, they've been trying to gain respect for hundreds of years and they have not been heard. So now they're trying something else and look, they're being heard. People are responding. I'm not saying the violence is right. Of course, I'm not supporting the violence, but I'm just saying that finally they're being heard. I respect the movement. I feel that is giving hope to people who are being oppressed, and it shows that society is ready to deal fairly. I would say that I was back and forth on embracing my Black culture, because there were times when I wanted nothing more just to fit in and be white. But in junior high, the song that made me okay with my body, okay with being Black, and just ready to pump up was "Baby Got Back" by Sir Mix-a-Lot. But because obviously I got back, so I'm just like, yes, my body is okay, let's do this. And that just kind of led me to embrace and explore other aspects of Black American culture, like Spike Lee movies, certain fashions. Like I had bandanas on all the time, and like different mannerisms and vernacular. So it's always like just trying to find the balance of who I am. Sam Langford was born on March 4th in 1886 in Weymouth Falls. He's also known as the Boston Terror and Boston Bone Crusher. He was a Black Canadian boxer. He's called the greatest fighter nobody knows. Langford often found success against much larger opponents and garnered praise as a fearless competitor. Despite an impressive winning record and praise from icons of the sport, Langford faced racial barriers that prevented him from competing for a title during an era when white champion boxers didn't want to be seen losing to Black opponents. Although he was crowned heavyweight champion of England, Australia, Canada, and Mexico, Langford is considered one of the best fighters never to win a title in the United States. Langford lost his sight later on in his career due to a fight, causing him to retire. 1 year before his death, he was inducted into the Canada Sports Hall of Fame in 1955. So luckily he was alive to witness it. Thanks. Have a great day.